Hi, I'm Brooke, and welcome to another Brooke review. So today I am reviewing Nobody's Princess by Esther Friesner and Nobody's Prize, the sequel. So the genre is definitely fiction, fantasy. It is a lot about Greek mythology and mythical fictional characters. So the age group would be young adult, and it was a pretty easy read. So I definitely say this is an appropriate book for younger readers. And I'm going to read you the inside cover of Nobody's Princess, and then I'm going to give you my brief description and also my opinion. She is beautiful, she is a princess, and Aphrodite is her favorite goddess, but something in Helen of Sparta just itches for more out of life. Unlike her prissy sister, Clytemnestra, she takes no pleasure in weaving and embroidery, and despite what her mother says, she's not even close to being interested in getting married. Instead, she wants to do combat training with her older brothers, go on heroic adventures, and be free to do what she wishes and find out who she is. Not one to count on the gods, or her looks, to take care of her, Helen sets out to get what she wants with steely determination and a sassy attitude. And while it's that attitude that makes Helen a few enemies, such as the self-proclaimed son of Poseidon, Theseus, it's also what intrigues, charms, and amuses those who become her friends, from the famed huntress Atalanta to the young priestess who is the oracle of Delphi. So, the first book, Nobody's Princess, is about Helen of Sparta. She's a young girl, probably 12 or 13, and she's a princess. She is going to inherit the throne. She's going to become Queen of Sparta someday. And so her parents want her to be their perfect little girl, weaving, embroidery, learning how to become a bride, and really, that's Helen's sister, Clytemnestra. Helen wants to be her own person, she wants freedom, and she wants to learn how to fight. And so, I really, although the first book was enjoyable, I thought the second book was much better. The second book had a lot more adventure and a much thicker plot line, better characters. I think the first book was really just leading up to the second book. So in the first one, you kind of, you learn about Helen, you read about her character, and as she's growing older, and she begins to learn how to fight with her brothers, combat training, and then she accompanies her brothers and her sister to her sister's new palace because her sister is about to get married. So, by the end of the book, it's a huge cliffhanger ending. It definitely leads into Nobody's Prize, and Helen goes on this quest with her brothers for the Golden Fleece on Jason's boat, the Argo. And this is all real, well, not real, but Greek mythology. I love Greek mythology. I think that's why I was so interested in these books. I don't believe in Greek mythology, but I think it's interesting and fun to read about, fun to learn about. I also take Latin in school, so that could be like another reason I enjoy it. But that's what the second book is about, how the first book leads into it. And so that was my mini description. Helen of Sparta, she is quick-witted, she's smart, clever, and she's strong and she's brave. And in the first book, I believe, toward the end, she frees a slave who becomes her new best friend, and they kind of go on these later adventures together. She does meet the huntress Atalanta, who is a woman who's not very respected because she is a woman. She's not supposed to be doing the things that the men do, but Helen absolutely adores her. You also meet the priestess of Delphi, who is an actual oracle, and Helen becomes good friends with her. And then a couple of other, in the second book, a couple of older boys who Helen becomes friends with. So, I'm going to give you my opinion on the book. I think I kind of just did. I think the first one was a little bit slow, although it was funny and enjoyable. The second book was much better, a lot more detail. I liked the plot. It was very interesting. So, I probably just went over a lot of my pros and cons also, but The pros would probably be Helen. I love Helen's character, although I do think at times she's a little bit too predictable. She's very rash. She doesn't think about things. Well, she on one side she's very clever, but on the other she'll just jump right into something without thinking about the consequences. And although that's something you love about Helen, sometimes you're like, no, don't do that. So, but I do think the characters are funny. Again, I love Greek mythology. I'm not sure if all of the facts in these books are correct. I think the author kind of made up her own facts, but I guess you can do that being an author. So, my cons, I probably already mentioned a couple of them, that the first book is very slow, but also the ending to the second book. Although I was pleased with the ending, although everything was wrapped up, I still felt like I wanted to know more about Helen's future, who she becomes, and but I guess the author was kind of leaving that up to your imagination. I mean, you can go Google Helen of Sparta, so and find out what did happen to her. She sparked the Trojan War, I believe. I think that's the Trojan War. I hope it's the Trojan War. Anyways, those were my pros and cons, and I don't have any passages I'd like to read from the book. So my Brooke mark for book 1 would probably be a 3, just because it was a little bit slow. But the second book would maybe be rated a 4. So if you enjoy Greek mythology, fantasy, witty, funny characters, then these books are for you. Go check them out, and visit my blog, which is www.brookeharrison.com. And I just want to let you know that I'm actually working on a couple of other videos, a couple of other Brooke reviews, including a video on my writing process. That was actually a requested video, so I'm really excited. If you have books that you would like me to review, please let me know by sending me a message or leaving comments. I love feedback. So thanks for watching. Bye.